Welcome. So what we have here is a well, it's a faulty Nintendo Switch that I picked up on eBay. So I've been doing these quite a bit recently. So what I'm going to do is get this open and make sure I got the right bit on my driver. So I got a Phillips 000. So yeah, I'm going to crack this thing open. So let's get all the Phillips screws out that we need to get out first. There we go, that's one. Screws are ever so slightly loose. Could imply this thing's been opened before. No idea. We'll see, right? So let's get these Joy-Con rail screws released. Oh, this is a bit tight. There we go. So yeah, like any repair, we've got to get in. And in fact, I'm kind of jumping the gun a bit. What I should be doing is checking the power draw. So let's just do that super quick. So we're getting, what's this, 0.2 amps? Yeah, 0.2 amps. So, that's a little on the low side. Could be a bad battery, could be a bad chip. Don't know until we've opened it up. So, yeah, we'll find out. So we've got that Joy-Con rail screw out, we've got that one out. So we've just got this top screw here. You know, this thing seems to have lost its magnetization, actually. I'm just going to remagnetize this bit. And I'll just sort of fault finding with the tools as well as the device. Well, what are you going to do, right? So yeah, this is a faulty switch with basically no description of what's actually wrong with it that I bought off eBay. So it could be anything. Could be absolutely anything wrong with this thing. We do need to get this kickstand off as well. There we go. So there is a screw behind it, just here, down by the micro USB. Yep, got that one off. Blah 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 blah. Now we'll get these Y-wing tri-tip ones off. I'll tell you what, these blue mats, they're absolutely terrible. I watch another streamer, he's quite good, called Dakota, and I recommend you go check out his channel if you're into watching things like Nintendo Switch repairs. But he has this exact same mat, and he's absolutely right. He was saying he cannot get these little bits here clean, and you really can't. No matter what you do, you just can't get the buggers clean. It's not going to happen. I've had this under the tap, I've scrubbed it down with soap and water, and then I've poured isopropyl alcohol over it to just help get rid of the flux that was caked on and stuff, and like even that is just barely enough. Was I missing a screw? Huh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I take them all off? Yeah, I just took them all off in autopilot mode. Okay. So then what we want to do, I think I got all the screws, just double checking. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to carefully get this out of its, sort of remove this. It's really easy to break the little plastic tabs. So what I like to do is just sort of lift it like that. And this top tab is kind of easy to break. It's like a little screw tab. If we can get that up, we can get that up. I think we're clear, so we should be able to pull this without breaking anything. So we've got that intact, we've got those intact. Yep, all good. Alright, I haven't damaged the back cover. That's good news. I'll shift that out of the way. So yeah, now we need to go back to the Phillips tip on the screwdriver, and we just undo all the screws on the back here. Both of these Joy-Con rails on the sides are bad. Neither of them will latch a Joy-Con. I've tried. So that's one fault I've already identified with this particular switch, which is a bit annoying. I do have a couple of Joy-Con rails I can probably scavenge from some completely dead units that are never going to be able to be repaired, so I will likely replace these. Yeah, the plan is to get this repaired, nicely refurbished, put back on eBay so that I can make massive stonks. Because I want the stonks for days. But yeah, so, you know, just go around. And I think that is all but one screw. I missed this one here, which holds this nice little heat shield playing down, so just get rid of that as well. Or at least try. There we go. And then we just pop this micro SD card reader off. It just pulls right up. Boom, done. And now this should just lift straight off. It might stick a little bit unless I've missed a screw. I don't think I have. There we go. So looking at that, that's original paste. That's, I'm not sure how well you guys can see that. Yeah, that's the original factory thermal paste. It's a bit crappy. Interesting, okay. I don't think this has been opened before, actually. Maybe somebody hasn't looked at this before. Looking at this, we've got no water damage on that sticker, so that's a good sign. Okay. This doesn't look like it's ever been removed before, this heat pipe. Because usually when people remove these, this foam ends up torn, and it's not torn, so that's a good sign. So what I'll do, first of all, is I will remove this foam stuff. I like to try and keep it in one piece. Oh. So what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of IPA alcohol to help dissolve the to act as a solvent to help dissolve the adhesive. So you just drip that onto the foam, and that should help relax the adhesive that's holding it down. Won't do any damage, so yeah. Anyway, I crack the knuckles, get stuck in. So I'm going to take a scalpel, You use an X-Acto knife or anything else for this as well. And I'm just going to slide under and just sort of break up whatever adhesive is still hanging on. Okay, that's that bit. Let's do this piece. Now this isn't that well adhered actually. It's coming off. I'll take the blunt side and hopefully that will help. Get it off. Okay. You can't always get these off without damaging them, you know. It doesn't affect the console in any way. I don't know. I'm being a bit overly perfectionist with it. Although now I'm getting a bit less perfectionist. I'm starting to tear it. Like sod it, right? Whatever. Okay. Let me just double check the tip I've got on here because I do need the Phillips. Yes. Okay. So what I want to do now is get this heatsink off. Let's get a bit of zoom in as well for you guys. So let's zoom. There we go. So it's just a case of pop all these screws out. Now all of these little silver screws are all exactly the same, so you can just keep them all together. You don't have to worry about mixing up the heatsink screws with like the back shield screws or anything like that. So just like that, we've got that loosened up. Now what you want to do is lift this up, and it will sort of be stuck kind of hard to begin with, but there we go. Once that breaks, that'll come up a bit, and you just want to lift it up, pull it off like that. There we go. Once you've got this removed, you're good. So there we go. The next thing we want to do now is we want to start disconnecting all of the cables that are on here as well. So what you want to do that is you're going to want a spudger. I like to use a pair of needle nose pliers as well for the speakers, and that's pretty much it. A pair of tweezers is something you'll need as well. Actually, I don't know if I have mine on the desk. Let me just grab them real quick. Because I use a lot of flux and I do hot air soldering, and you need tweezers to sort of hold chips and stuff like that, your tweezers often get caked up in flux. So what I do, when I'm done with them, I just pop them in a little like Tupperware container normally used for takeout food, and I pop them in that in a bath of isopropyl alcohol, and that kind of just breaks up all the nasty flux that's on there and gets everything good and proper. Yeah, anywho's, I'll take a pair of tweezers, and what I'm going to do in a second, I'm going to flip over to the microscope view just so I can get a better view of this, and show you guys exactly what I'm doing as well. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to flip the scope on, and let's flip over to that. Pressing all the wrong buttons here. There we go. So just get that into view. Let's get this focused as well. Focused for me and focused for you. How's that looking? I think that's good. I've got a manual focus camera. It's kind of a basic camera on this scope, but does a job. So yeah, so I'm going to start on the right hand side. Doesn't matter where you start. First thing you want to do, disconnect the battery. So that's what I shall do. And you can see we've got this battery connector cable right here. I feel like I'm zoomed in a bit too far here. There we go. Yeah. So what you want to do is slide a pair of tweezers or something like that under this and just pry up. Dead easy. Just like that. And remember how I was talking about pliers? I want those for this connection that you can see right here. And what I do is I take the pliers, grip the sides, and just pull gently, just like that. I find using tweezers tends to actually damage those slightly. You know, break just tiny fragments of plastic off. You can see here as well, we've got this foam thing sitting on top of a chip. I'm not sure if you can see that. There we go. I'm just going to peel that off as well. We don't need this here. So just like that. And underneath that, that's the chip responsible for charging the battery as well. So we kind of do need access to that for when we do our diagnostics. And now's where the spudger comes in. Take your spudger, stick it under the latch, and flip up. If it'll let you. There you go. And then what you do, slide your tweezers under the cable, and you should just be able to pop it right out. Just like that. So then we go around to the next connection I want to disconnect, which is right here. Same thing again with the needle nose pliers. Just grip it, gently rock it back and forth. Just like that. We're good. Pretty sure this switch hasn't been tampered with, which is good news. It usually makes repairs easier if somebody else hasn't tried first, because you never know what damage someone else might have done. At least if nobody's tried to repair it before, you know it's just a system failure that you've got to fix. And that's it, really. So there we go. We got these connectors. I'm trying to get through these as quick as I can, because I want to get to the bulk of the actual repair, or at least find out what's wrong with it first. So, yeah, just... You didn't really see that very well. That's just a Wi-Fi connector cable thingy. How's that focus? There we go. So, again, with these cables, same thing that I demonstrated a second ago. We just slide our tweezers underneath, pull, slide underneath, pull. Again, we're not trying to brutalize these cables, we're just trying to slide them out. Same thing up here. This is the digitizer and cart slot connector. So this is the screen digitizer connection. So we'll just sort of pry that up like that. And again, it's the tweezer trick. I know you can't see the whole thing because it's kind of large, but you know, we just slide under the tweezers and just pop it out like that. And you'll notice down here by the fan, we've got this little connection here. We want to pop that off. That is actually for the digitizer and cart slot, because it's a little daughter board. It mates to the motherboard through a little connection here. So yeah. And you might notice as well, we've got these other two connectors right here. These connectors are easy enough. They're just two more latch connectors. So, you know, spudger underneath. And just lift. Same there, and just lift. And this one's a Joy-Con rail, so we'll just disconnect that as best we can. There we go. That's it. I'm going to flip back over to the main camera view now, and just undo the last of the screws. So let's do that. So we've got one little screw here, pop that off. And we've got two screws here holding down the audio jack, because I forgot to mention this digitizer and cart slot board also has the audio jack on it. So then we just remove this little plastic clip thing. I don't know what that's called, to be honest. We'll just remove it. And then we remove the cart slot board. And you notice as well, underneath this, a lot of them, when they've got moisture ingress and corrosion, these turn a bit white and you end up with this white crust on. This hasn't, so that's actually a good sign that this is probably okay, assuming there's no bent pins in it. And then we've got this connector here. This one's delicate. You do have to be careful. There's a few tricks to getting these off without damaging them, though. And one is to just take your tweezers after flipping the latch up, slide underneath, just pull like that, and that should get them out without doing any damage. That is the most delicate connector on the bloody board. It is right bugger when it goes. And what I like to do as well, some people do, some people don't, I also detach the fans and move them out of the way. They make getting the PCB off just that tiny bit easier. So go ahead and remove the screws. You know, there's almost no effort in getting those off, so there we go. And now what we want to do, because we've disconnected all the cables, we want to start removing all the screws holding this motherboard down. And I say we've disconnected all the cables, I did actually miss this one just here. There we go. So there's a screw here. Not sure if you can see that. Right there, it's deciding to focus on the wrong thing, my camera. Yeah, right where it says D1 anyway. So we get that off. Get this one in the left hand side off if I can. Done. There's two screws holding down a USB port. They're there to give it some strength because otherwise it's just held down by solder. I'm kind of hoping I don't have to replace a USB port. I don't really like doing them. But, you know, needs must as the devil drives. So pop those off. Pop off the other screws. And there's one screw down here as well. I think that's it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All the cables are disconnected. Okay, so great. So the next step, zoom out a little bit for you guys, is to get the board out. So to do that, just lift it up, pull it back a bit, and it'll come right out without doing any damage to anything. And there we go. One Nintendo Switch. That's the brains of the Switch. I'm going to put this aside now. There we go. And we can start our diagnostics on this board. So what I am going to do is just disconnect the memory module, the eMMC. And this is where the operating system of the Switch and all the save files and all the other goodies sort of live. So just pop this off. You've got to be kind of careful with these because you don't want to damage them when you remove them. And this is held down by like this little shield thing, this metal thing. They're a bit annoying to get up. So I'm kind of struggling with it. There we go, come on. A bit of thermal paste there. Okay. This one's being stubborn. They're normally a bit easier to come off than this. Come on. The last thing I want to do is snap the PCB, you know. Come on. I've never had one this stubborn. Come on. Bloody hell. This really doesn't want to come off. Huh. That's annoying. Oh, let's just leave it on. Okay, anyway, so we've got to do some diagnostics. That involves testing around some of the chips on this, so I'm going to switch back over to the scope view and get the board under the scope. There's a few things we can check. Let me just make sure everything's focused correctly for you. So what I'm going to do first is check the fuse. So I'm going to bust out the multimeter, put it into continuity mode, and let's check the fuse. I'm almost certain this fuse is going to be fine. So, yep, fuse is fine. Next thing I'm going to do is check around the M92 chip. This fails a lot, and it does seem to have liquid on it, funnily enough. That's strange. Okay. Now when these go funny, it's usually these capacitors at the top that go a little funny as well. This is a bit washed out, isn't it? Let's see if I can just do something about that. There we go. So you can see here, we got these 3 caps along the top. Normally, when it goes a bit bad, they'll short. Okay, it looks like M92 is okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to check down by this BQ chip, because it's charging a bit slow. It might be fine. This switch might be fine. I might try it with a battery in a minute, another battery. Alright, the BQ chip seems fine. I'm pretty sure the P13 is going to be fine. I don't know yet. While I'm here though, I'm just going to clean off the thermal paste that's on the shield. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to flip the board over and I don't want to get thermal grease all over the mat. So I mean, I'm going to have to put new thermal grease on anyways, so it doesn't matter if this comes off. Sorry, I know you can't see this very well. Right, I'll be back in just a second. Of tissue to help remove the thermal grease that's on here. Thermal paste. There we go. Just means when I flip the board I don't get grease everywhere, and then, you know, have super happy, not fun times. So there we go. So now we've got the other side of the board, so we're going to check the USB P13. I'm sure it's fine actually on this one, but we'll see. Yeah, it seems to be okay. Just check these caps down here. Okay, that's fine. So now I want to check continuity across these EMI filters. That's fine. That's fine. Any shorts? No. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. No shorts. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Don't tell me I've got another one that's stuck in RCM mode. Oh, that'd be annoying. Be like my other video. Except if that's the case, on this one I'll detail how to actually repair it. Okay, that's fine. So, let's check this max chip. This chip is responsible for power management on the switch, so let's see what this gives us. Okay, looking good so far. Alright, I don't think it's that then. I wonder if it is just a knackered battery. Let's check this fuel gauge chip though. These can sometimes go bad. Not the fuel gauge. Alrighty. Okay. Interesting. So I'm not immediately sure what the problem is with this switch. It's nothing particularly common. We can inspect this USB port for damage though. We might as well. Let me just come up a bit. It's a little tricky to see into these. I actually can't see this very well. Let's see if I lift the scope up a bit. No, USB port looks fine. Okay. Let's check the bottom of the system on chip. Let's see if any of these are shorting. Hopefully not. No, okay. Don't even know what this chip's for right here, but let's take a look at it nonetheless. That's a resistor, that's a resistor. Probably okay, let's check this chip. That's an inductor, I don't know why I'm checking it like a cap. That inductor's fine. Okay. We got this chip here, whatever this is. There's a few power chips on the other side I need to check as well, actually. That's fine. Yep, all good. Okay. So, if we come across a bit, should be able to see this max chip right here. There's two of these. I need to check that. No short. No short. No short. No short, okay. No short, okay. So there is a chip up here that's responsible for the LCD as well. I wish I hadn't bent that slightly, that's kind of annoying. Let's see if we can get back to how it was. That's a bit better. Oh, that's interesting, there's pen marks there. So this chip right here is the, this right here, you can see it, this is the LCD driver chip. This should be fine. If it doesn't work, the system should still power on. Yeah, seems fine. Alright, that's interesting. So we don't have any obvious issues with this switch that I can see. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a known good battery and I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to put the camera view on so you guys can see this better again. So we'll go to the camera view. Right, so as you can see, we've got the switchboard here, so I'm going to plug a battery in. I've already got the memory module in. I'm going to go to power. Let's see what this does. .41, and it's not going down. Okay. Oh god, I bet I've got another one just like the other one I had. So you see how this is charging at 0.41 amps. It hasn't gone down to 0 amps and then gone up to a quick charge, which is 1.3 something usually. Would imply to me that this switch is probably stuck in recovery mode. It is an unpatched switch, so there's a pretty good chance that that is the case. Somebody's probably just botched their firmware, which I do know how to fix, and if that's the case, I will detail that in this stream. I may have to reboot and pause the stream while I do that, if that's the case. But anyway, before we get to that, to see if we are in auto RCM mode is fairly straightforward. All I need to do is take my phone, because this has an app on it, that will allow us to inject a recovery mode payload. I do need to grab a USB-C cable that will work for this, so just give me 1 second. There we go. And what we want to do, just unplug the amp meter, drop my phone on my foot, ow, 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 and plug my phone into this, because I have an app that can inject payloads. Just unlock the phone. Okay, that hasn't detected it as in RCM mode, so perhaps it's not what I think it is. Perhaps there is a fault somewhere on this. Okay. So it's not in auto RCM mode. So that's not what I thought. That's fine. So we probably do have a power system fault somewhere, which is not an IC or something like that. That's interesting. Okay. So plug that in. Back to drawing 0.41 amps. What I'm going to do is flip the scope back on, and I'm going to start probing around the board to see what sort of voltages we're getting in different places. So if I flip back to the scope view, and then we come over to the board, let's see what we can see. So first of all, I'm going to check by this M92 chip, because we could still have a fault with this without any shorted caps. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this one. I mean, we do have this mystery substance right here that looks, you know, this looks suspicious to me. Anyway, let's see what we're getting on pin 5. 0 volts, interesting. That's interesting. Oh no, 3.2. Okay. 3.3. 3.28. So just below the M92 right here. There's a few points I can check. So we should get 1.8 here. That's telling me we're getting 0 volts. 0. 0. Oh. Okay. So we're getting 5 volts there, which is what I would expect. 0.2 there. We've definitely got a fault on the power system on this thing. I don't know if it's M92. As I say, I'm suspect. It is sus. So let's check some more voltages then. So let's try, this should be 3 volt, I think. 0.121. 0.121. Could be this thing. Let's check this MOSFET. What we getting here? 10 volts. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. Yeah, that's right. 5 volt. 5. 5 volt. 5 volt. 5 volt. And we should get 10 on this pin. Yeah, near enough. Okay. Interesting. So we go down to the BQ chip. Let's see what we're getting here. What we want to check here is the system voltage. I'm getting a bit blurry now. What we want is to check the system voltage output pins. So let's try that. Assuming I can get in with these probes properly. 4 volts there. These should be bridged. Yeah, okay, that looks fine. Don't want to short anything with the probes. 4 volts. 0, yeah. 8 volt. Okay. Oh, interesting. Let's check another 3 volt test point. We were getting 3 volts around the M92. So I don't think there's a problem with a 3 volt power rail. But we can check that. Oh, it's kind of annoying when you've got cables plugged into these to keep them in the right position. So if we go there, we can check if this is a 3 volter. So let's check that pad right there, and we're getting 3.3 volts. Great. Okay. What we aren't seeing is 1.8 volts. I don't know if that's the rail or not. I don't know what test points I could check for that elsewhere are, because I've only checked around the M92. It could be that we do have a bad M92 chip and it's just not exhibiting the usual behavior. I could just switch it and see how we go. I mean, we're getting 1.8 on this pin. Yeah, 1.8 there. 1.8 there. 1.8 there. 0 there. See, this pin, I would expect... Actually, I think it's this pin. I was checking the wrong pad. I'm a moron. That is 1.8. 0. 0.019. Huh. Okay. I literally have no idea what I'm doing now. It's kind of like, huh, what could it be? Could it be one of these FETs? Can you see what I'm doing? Could it be? .5, 1.4, 1.7, blah blah blah. What's the ammeter reading? Still 0.41. That's interesting. It could imply. Okay, actually, let's disconnect the battery. Switch back to the camera view. Boom. Okay. So what I'm thinking is I disconnect the solid state memory and see if it boots into recovery mode without it, or maybe even install a known faulty module that forces it into recovery mode just to see if it's the power system or not. I really want to remove it from the board completely. You seeing this? It really don't... Bloody... Come off. Come off. I don't want to brutalise it. I think I have no choice. These normally come off a lot easier. Let's get the old scalpel out. There we go. Come on. Just let go of it, you damn thing. It doesn't want to let go of the clip. There we go, finally. God, it's still hanging on. It is still hanging on. Come on. Honestly. It's like this. It's like I don't want to let go of my memories. Please. I'm like, no, man. You gotta let go of your memories just for a minute. I'll put it back, I promise. It's like a spotless sunshine of the mind, or whatever that movie was called with Jim Carrey. It's like that with a switch, except it refuses to give up its damn memory. Seriously. Come on. Good lord. Why? Oh god, you're really gonna... Fine. Look, you are coming off whether you want to or not. There we go. Finally. This bugger. This thing. This right here. This hates me. Whatever. Right, fine. So I want to put a faulty module on now. Oh god. Oh, what have I got myself into? Okay. Right. I know I've got one round it. No. Yes. No. I don't know. Maybe. No. Yes. No. Maybe. I don't know. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, I've got too many things around me, so it's not from that board. It's not on that board. Where's the other knackered one? Is it on here? Of course it's not in the one place I thought it would be. Alright, fine. Let's take this one. Had to brutalise this off. Okay, let's pop this memory module on. It won't boot with a different memory module in because it's meant for another switch, but I just want to see how it behaves. So what are we getting? We're getting 0.10 amps because I didn't plug the battery in because, you know, galaxy brain right here. There we go. Okay, 0.41. But let's see if that's in recovery mode now. It may be, it may not be. Let's check my phone. Oh. Okay. Let's plug that in. Plug that in. God, I've got cables I've got cables for days right here. There we go. Interesting. With a different memory module, that has gone straight to recovery mode, which is what I thought it would do. So yeah, we've got a recovery mode option right here, and I can inject a payload. So that means that this memory module right here is probably dead. So the fact that I can get to that recovery mode means that there probably aren't any electrical faults on this board, which is why I'm not finding any electrical faults, which is very similar to what I saw on yeah, shut up multimeter, what I saw on my other repair stream. This is slightly different, but it's similar. So I think what I need to do is get this switch back together, put it in recovery mode with its original memory on, and then I need to see exactly what's going on with it. We can do that though. We can do that. So first of all, let's get it back together. I was really expecting it to be something solar. It's that moment when you buy something and you want to tinker with it, and then it turns out to be mostly fine. And then you're like, oh, I've wasted my money I spent on it. I wanted to be soldering, you know. I don't go buying no broken stuff off eBay expecting it not to be broken, guys, you know. Alright, but this is broken to some extent. Okay. We got that back, so let's... Oh, this feels like such a waste of time when you take something apart and it just kind of works. Never mind. Kinda works. This is going to be a software fix, not a hardware fix, I think. I do need this. So let's sort of get this back together a bit. So let's well, do that. How well can you guys see this? Reasonably well. Okay. So I want to lift that. Get all these 10 cables in. Don't want you trapped under the PCB, so there you go. This cable, this bugger right here, is the annoying one. But there we are, that's that one, and then I'm not going to fully assemble this. I'm only going to get it back together enough to make it do what we want to make it do. So I don't need to hook up the fans or anything like that, because we're not going to be running any games on it or anything, any shenanigans like that to begin with. We're literally just going to be doing some diagnostics with some software tools. Oh, come on. Ah, come on. Right. There we go. Honestly, they're really annoying to get back together, these switches, but, you know, whatever. Come on. Come on. Come on. Why? Why will you not go down? Why have you forsaken me so? It's that damn Wi-Fi cable. Come on. You bloody. Yeah, if you... Hey, Paul B, if you've got a version 2 and it's doing the same, going to be a lot more difficult to fix. And the reason for that, you might be able to, but the reason for that is you need to be able to dump things like the prod keys and stuff like that, because you'll have to rebuild the NAND. You can only do that with a version 1, and it's not just a case of taking the broken memory and putting it in a version 1 to fix, because some of those keys that you need to read, as far as I'm aware, are only are on the actual system on chip, and you need to read them off that too. I could be wrong though. I haven't tried it actually. I might have to try it. I haven't said hello to people. Hello, Virginia. Virginia's my fiancée, so be nice to her, or I'll kill you. Just so you know. Anywho. Daphnis aside. Okay. We'll plug the battery in last. So let's get this back under the scope, because it makes this easier. There we go. Yeah, so, you know, just get everything back together. We definitely need this Joy-Con I'm about to re-plug back in, this rail, because that's where the RCM jig I've got to use goes. This machine is not stuck in recovery mode, so it didn't have auto RCM enabled, but I do think that whoever had this switch last hacked it and sort of balked up the OS somehow. Happens. Does happen. There we go. So we'll get that one down. Let's get this into focus better. Cool, and yeah, these switches can be interesting in the kind of faults that they'll develop. So what I'm doing now is taking that backlight cable and pulling it up through the gap, or at least I would be if it would grip. There we go. So, yes, there we go. Yeah, I had as I say, I had a switch with a very similar problem the other day. It took me about 5 hours to fix in the end, because I've never fixed one that had that particular issue. I could probably do this one in about 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes, now that I know what's wrong with it. It's a real fiddly thing to fix though, because you have to do some crazy shenanigans with the memory. Actually, it's probably longer than 30 minutes, because ideally you do want to back up the NAND in its current broken state before you start messing with it, and that takes time because it's about 30 gigabytes of data to back up. But you could YOLO it and not back that data up, but I really wouldn't recommend it, because you're quite likely to end up irreparably bricking it in your first repair attempt, and then, you know, super sad times for everybody involved. Come on. Now this battery was charging very slowly, so it's going to need a deep charge, so I'm probably going to have to plug in that known good battery sort of temporarily. So we don't really care about the Wi-Fi cables for now. Let's just pull this through a bit better. Yeah, see what I'm doing? Yep. Okay. Come on. Ah, they're never easy. And this is the damn connector I fear damaging. I've actually got spares, but I'd rather not be having to solder a new one in just because I went and klutzed it, you know. There we go, I got it in fine. You really have to, like, honestly, this connector is so easy to damage. The others are pretty resilient, but that one, for some whatever reason, is really terrible. Yeah, Paul, if you got one in Auto RCM, assuming you can boot it up, if it's a version 2 and it's in Auto RCM, it almost certainly means that you've got a NAND memory issue. What you want to do if you've got that problem is pop that NAND into a version 1 switch, back it up, and you may, if you're lucky, be able to rebuild it if you can get the keys from that dump, but I'm not sure that that's going to work when moving the memory to a different switch. You can try it for sure, and it's worth giving a try because you never know, right? Sometimes we get lucky on these things, sometimes we don't, you know. It's like GameStop with the massive stonks. You either get lucky or you get screwed. No in between. Okay. So we got all that reasonably together. I've got a suspicion that when this powers up with the good battery, it's going to be a blue screen like the other one. Let's find out. I guess we should see if it powers up at all, really. So, now that's interesting that we're getting nothing. Black screen, nothing. With the different battery as well. But that I was able to get it into recovery mode with a faulty memory. That is curious. Let's plug it in. My diagnosis may be wrong. Let's find out. So we are drawing 0.41 amps. And presumably, for whatever reason, it can't boot. So I'm going to disconnect the power. I'm going to disconnect the battery. I'm going to put the SD slot in. Come on. There we go. So we take an SD card slot for it. And we'll just... Oh, this stupid foam. Let's get it off. There we go. Pop that on my desk. So yeah, we want to just get this SD card slot plugged back in. It's kind of annoying to get these in. There. There we go, we've got that in. So I did connect up all the Joy-Con rails. I haven't connected all the speaker wires, that's fine. So what I need now then is a RCM jig, which I do have right here. Yeah, feel free to sub, Paul. It's up to you. I mean, I don't stream all the time, and I don't always upload videos like on a regular schedule. But yeah, feel free. glad to have you on board. Yeah. So we've got the RCM jig. I do need my memory card. Where is that? Probably in my normal switch. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'd lose my face if it wasn't attached to my head. It's not in that switch. Definitely not in that switch. That one. That one. Aha, found it. It was right under my nose all the time. Let's get it out. So it could be the black screen is actually just a dead LCD. I don't know. It could be any number of issues, right? But the fact we never get to a fast charge means it's definitely not booting all the way. What I'm doing is I'm just getting a memory card in. Now I'm not going to plug the USB in straight away. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over now, gently, and I'm going to hold the up button and press the power button, which I know you can't see very well. It's a bit of a weird angle, this, but I'm holding down the up volume and I'm pressing the power button. With any luck, that'll be in RCM mode now. So if I take my USB cable and my phone, let's see what we get. This is interesting. I was able to convince this to go into recovery mode not so long ago, and now it won't. But the fact it went into recovery mode suggests that we don't have a hardware fault. So we're charging at 0.41 amps. Hang on, have I got this in the wrong way? I've got this on the wrong side, I think. That's the problem. Not to worry, okay. If I hold down the power button for about 14 seconds or so. Hello, Lieutenant Kelly. I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. He's a cool guy. That's who he is. Anyway. Yeah, so pop that out, hold down power up, bear volume up, press power, and pray that it is now in recovery mode. You don't get any screen output when it's first in recovery. It will just have a black screen with nothing on it, so I don't know if this is actually working, so let's find out. I've got the old phone here. Right, okay, that is in recovery mode. Boom, look at that, okay. Definitely not a hardware fault, so we're this far, which implies to me that it was indeed the memory module. It can read the memory module. Interesting, okay. So, in theory then, let's look at the fuses. Burnt fuses 14.0, so this is probably on the latest firmware. That's interesting. Okay, somebody's definitely messed up the memory. 100%, that's what they've done. Okay. So, yeah, we are getting there. Yeah, it is bricked. Yeah, it's completely bricked. So, yeah, basically. You never know, but yeah, this one's bricked. Somebody had hacked it, messed it up. So what we can do is we can back this up. So if I go to Tools, we want to back up boot 0 and boot 1. Done. This is the bit that takes ages, and this isn't really great for a live stream, if I'm honest, because, you know, it's got to back up 30 gigs. But I had no idea what the fault with this particular switch was before I actually, you know, had a look, so... But this is why I say to other repair technicians in the community, which I've spoken to a few times, they make the automatic assumption that if you've got, like, a black screen with no output, and it looks like it's drawing power, they automatically make the assumption that the APU soldables are no longer making proper contact, which is usually not the correct diagnosis unless you have a blue screen. And even then, that blue screen can be caused by a corrupt operating system on the switch. So yeah, actually this is backing up reasonably quickly. We're on 6% already, so you know, we can always chat the shit, you know, and chill out, but yeah. Anyway, the point is, gotta let that back up, and the broad steps to fix this involve downloading the firmware that this was that this is on, and creating a clean version of that firmware to then write back to that eMMC NAND module. Now, what I can do is I can share my desktop on my computer in a moment, and I can show you exactly what you'll need to do this. So, in fact, I think I'll do that now. So let me just move around a bit because I'm currently at my soldery desk, and I need to be at my computery desk. So I'll wheel myself around like that, and let's flip over to what we're going to need. So if I open a new private window and share my desktop. Yep, you guys can see that, cool. I can't remember all the tools I needed, so excuse me, let's have a quick look. Users, desktop. And if you're wondering what this crazy stuff you're looking at is, it's Linux. So yeah, you're going to need a few tools for this. You're going to need NX NAND Manager. This tool. And this tool, it lets you explore the file system that you've backed up from your backup. I don't think there's a Linux version of this, which is kind of annoying. And that kid's got Alex Kidd as their icon. So I may need to reboot and restart the stream to actually fully complete this. But yeah, you'll need this tool, NX NAND Manager, which will basically let us rebuild the firmware. Now, you may have noticed as well, I looked at how many fuses were blown. Why am I opening Slack? I looked at how many fuses were blown, which was a few. So what we want to do, it was 14. So Nintendo Switch fuse blown. There is a GitHub page that details how many fuses should have been blown on the Switch to indicate which version of this, which version of the Horizon OS it's on. So, looking at this, it's saying 13 fuses blown for version 10. We're probably on version 11 point something, so 14 fuses blown means it is on the most up-to-date firmware, so that's fine. Where is my YouTube stream gone? Let's see what people are saying. Nothing. Okay, fine. So let's go back. So yeah, as I'm saying, you know, we've got this fuse blown count. We're on 14, so we need to download the latest version. gosh, I can't remember where you download these from. In fact, I can't even remember the Nintendo Switch version. So Nintendo Switch 11 point something, 0.01. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Anyway, I'm sure you people know that, especially anybody who actually knows me. I am basically mentally challenged. Yeah. But yeah, what you need to do is you need to download the 11.0.1 firmware, and you need to get a non-hacked version. You basically just want vanilla. I wonder if I can do this with a virtual machine, actually. Maybe I can. What? There we go. Let's watch and learn. Let's see if we can fix this with a VM. I think we might be able to. If I shared a USB, we might be able to. Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed my intermission, by the way. I should have been using the hotkeys and not the mouse. Let me move that out of the way. As you know, Windows is extremely fast and amazing and everybody loves it. Let's kill some of these windows I don't need. There we go. Cool. As you can see, Windows looks fantastic. It's working exactly as we expect. And you know what? Just because we can, let's have a look at how this is going. See, still backing up, 47%. Okay, fine, whatevs. Back to desktop. I will log in as the mighty user. Ah, come on, why is this so slow? So slow. Right, cool, okay. We're getting somewhere. Somewhere very slowly. We're getting there. Indeed, because VM. To be fair, this VM should be running a lot faster. I mean, it's been given 6 cores and like 8 gigs of RAM and so on. I mean, it shouldn't be this painfully slow, but, you know, Microsoft, right? That's what I'm going with. That's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. Hey, look at this. Yeah, give me the start menu. Thank you. We'll use the incredible Microsoft Edge. Woohoo. Oh, God, come on, man. What? Oh, this is horrible. I really might have to just restart the stream and boot straight into Windows Native, because this is just painful. Oh, the VHS overlay flicker. Yeah, yeah. I trolled you, Paul. That's what happened. I accidentally trolled you. Oh my god, it's actually loaded after what was that, 2 minutes of me clicking on it? Give me Task Manager. Let's flip back to the switch. Where are we at? Oh no, wrong screen. There we go. 63%. Okay, that's still going. Interesting. Okay, back to desktop. How is this tanking the CPU is what I want to know. Look at it. 87%. I've got a 6-core 12-thread processor. Oh god, it's painful. Wait, that only thinks it's got 1 core, doesn't it? Are you joking? Are you having a laugh, mate? Are you having a laugh? Wait. Virtual processor's full. What? Seriously? Oh my god. I'm just grumbling now. I'm just whinging, aren't I? That's all I'm doing. Give me Google. NX NAND Manager. Thank you very much. I need a release, so let's go to the releases page. Microsoft says it's running a security scan. Yeah, whatever. Right, view downloads. Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Right, okay. We need Tiger RCM GUI. Forgive me for defaulting to Bing there, by the way. I know that makes me a scrub. So we've got Tiger RCM, we've got NX NAND Manager. We also need another tool, which I forget the name of, so let me check that. eMMC Hack Gen, we need that tool as well. So eMMC Hack Gen. Where did I even get that from? Absolutely don't want to use Bing. eMMC Hack Gen. Emma Hagen. That's not what I'm after. Fine, Nintendo Switch. Yeah. That's strange, I can't find it. Oh, it's because it's a double C. I'm spelling it wrong. It's like that. Good job for suggesting the correct link, Google. Thanks. Okay, thanks. Right. Oh, God. I absolutely hate Microsoft. Pre-release? That sounds dangerous. YOLO. Let's double check on how the switch backup is doing. No, we're looking good. Yeah, looking looking good. Okay, we're nearly there, so great. Alright, so we've got all the tools. No, I don't want that, I want that. So we need to go to our downloads, and we do need to download the firmware as well. Downloads, yes, we'll install that. And we do want to launch it, and we want to install the drivers as well. So we install this driver, Windows moans at us, we choose yes. It probably takes ages to do. Great, okay. I'm going to slap this on the desktop, because whatever, right? Guess I need to download 7-zip as well on this virtual machine. And let's have a look at that backup progression. Fantastic. Okay, let's that's good news. I think. Did it run out of space? Did I just not pay attention to that? Ah, yeah, I ran out of space. God damn it. Okay. I'm popping the memory card out, and let's go back to desktop, and I'm gonna copy this over. Switch SD. Switch SD. Why are they both modified? 1st of December. And when are you modified? 1st of what? Okay, I don't even know which of these is the correct backup. It's one of these. You see, I've been a foolish fool. Okay. Let's copy both. I'm very tempted to just YOLO it. I mean, who needs a backup, right? I can get rid of that nice stuff as well. Get rid of the stonks. Oh, of course, there's not enough space on my desktop. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to temporarily end the stream while all of this happens, and I'm going to restart. I'm going to restart from Windows, and I'm going to do all this much faster that way. This is just going to take forever, actually. I really need to just sort of start from scratch. This was supposed to be an electronics repair video, but it wasn't the electronic at fault in this switch. It's entirely a corrupt memory because some scrub hacked it and didn't know what they were doing. That's basically what's happened here, in a nutshell. So I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching, guys. I will be starting another stream probably in around 30 minutes or so to continue repairing this. But for now, because it's all just file copying and so on, and me just basically looking at a desktop, yeah. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. And hopefully, see you soon. And yeah, bye for now.